Howdy, friends. It's Steve DePoe, Realtor, with the Rose Realty team, with your North Texas and Denton County real estate update for the week ending March 2nd. Across the broader Dallas-Fort Worth region, we're in what I'd call a normalized but still competitive market. Inventory is higher than it was during the frenzy years. Homes are taking longer to sell, and buyers are more price sensitive. But the region remains one of the most resilient and in-demand markets in the country, thanks to strong population and job growth. Median sales prices across DFW have generally held steady to slightly down in early 2026, with one recent report putting the regional median around the mid 300s and showing days on market in the 70 to 80 day range, which is much closer to a balanced market than what we saw a couple of years ago. So what does that look like specifically in Denton County? Recent data for January 2026 shows that the median sale price in Denton County is sitting around $425,000, which is down roughly 4 to 5% compared to this time last year. That's a noticeable softening from the peak, but not a crash. It's more of a give back of some of the rapid appreciation we saw during the pandemic years. On the activity side, about 705 homes closed in January across the county, compared with roughly 853 closings a year prior. So we are seeing fewer transactions, which lines up with what a lot of buyers and sellers are feeling. There's still movement, but not the frantic pace of 2021 to 2022. A really important lever right now is time on market. The typical Denton County home is taking about 88 days to sell versus about 74 days a year ago. That's roughly 2 extra weeks on the market on average. And if you zoom further back, federal data showed median days on market in the 40s to 60s range through mid to late 2025. So this longer timeline is a continuation of that rebalancing trend. What that means in plain English is that pricing, presentation, and patience matter a lot more today. On the listing side, active inventory has climbed compared with the ultra-tight years we just came out of. Local reports going into late 2025 showed active listings in Denton County up more than 25% year over year, and months of supply sitting around 4 months, which is textbook balanced market territory. Conditions today are essentially a continuation of that pattern. More choices for buyers and sellers needing to be much more strategic to stand out. When we widen back out to the DFW and North Texas region, you see a similar storyline. One recent North Texas report for January highlighted that inventory is up, days on market are longer, and closed sales are down across many DFW counties, even as the overall metro stays attractive for long-term buyers because of jobs and in-migration. Another data snapshot for the broader area showed roughly 40,000 plus homes for sale, a median sales price around $350,000, and days on market in the high 70s, with months of supply around 4 again. Another sign that we're in a more balanced, negotiation-friendly environment instead of a pure seller's market. So if I summarize Denton County and North Texas in one sentence, pricing has eased slightly from last year, homes are taking longer to sell, inventory is healthier, and both buyers and sellers need to be prepared to negotiate and think strategically. Now let's zoom all the way down into Robson Ranch in Denton, our popular 55 plus active adult community. The first thing to know is that Robson Ranch continues to behave a bit like a micro market. Over the most recent 30-day period, median sale prices in Robson Ranch have been in roughly the mid 500s to low 600s. One recent report pegged the median sale price around $537,000 to just over $600,000, depending on the exact time window and data source you're looking at. That's a solid price point relative to the broader county, and it reflects the community's amenities and lifestyle appeal. On the inventory side, Robson Ranch currently has roughly 45 to 60 homes actively on the market, depending on the day you check. That's a meaningful number of choices for a single master planned 55 plus community. Another report showed the total homes for sale recently in the low 60s, up over 40% versus a year ago. That lines up with what many of you are feeling. Buyers have more options, and sellers are competing directly with both resale and new construction inside the gates. In terms of days on market, Robson Ranch is no longer an ultra fast, multiple offer environment. Recent stats show median days on market in the upper 40s to upper 50s range, with one source citing about 49 days and another showing an average of about 56 to 59 days to go under contract. That's roughly a month and a half to 2 months, which again is much closer to a normal market. It also means that well-prepared and well-priced homes can still move, but testing the market on price usually backfires. So, what does all of this mean for sellers in Denton County, and especially in Robson Ranch? First, it means you can't assume last year's comps will automatically translate into this year's offers. With the median Denton County price down around 4 to 5% year over year and more homes available to choose from, buyers are looking carefully at condition, updates, and pricing. In Robson Ranch, where buyers often compare your home not only to other resales, but also to brand new builder inventory, the bar for presentation is even higher. The recent data also shows that a meaningful share of Robson Ranch homes are needing price reductions before they sell, and sale to list ratios are sitting in the mid 90% range. That tells us that many sellers are starting high and then negotiating or adjusting down. If you're thinking about selling in the next few months, your edge comes from three things: accurate pricing based on today's numbers, not last year's; top tier presentation, including minor repairs and staging that photographs well; and flexible terms, whether that's closing date, concessions, or being open to contingencies for the right buyer. In this environment, buyers are still willing to pay for quality and convenience, but they're not waiving everything and throwing money at every listing. For buyers, especially those looking in Denton County or at Robson Ranch as a next chapter or retirement move, the story is more encouraging than it has been in a long time. County-wide, rising inventory and longer days on market mean more selection and more negotiating room. In Robson Ranch specifically, you now have dozens of active listings to compare across different floor plans, locations, and upgrade levels, and homes are staying on the market long enough for you to think, tour, and make a calculated offer rather than rush in 24 hours. Across North Texas, mortgage rates are generally lower than the peaks we saw previously, but still higher than the ultra-low years, which is keeping some buyers on the sidelines and contributing to that slower pace. For prepared buyers, especially those with strong down payments or the ability to buy in cash, this environment can be a real opportunity. You may be able to negotiate on price, closing costs, or repairs in a way that simply wasn't possible during the peak frenzy. So, here's my quick takeaway for this week. Denton County is in a more balanced market with a median price around $425,000. Longer days on market and fewer total sales than last year. The broader DFW North Texas area is showing similar patterns. More inventory, more time on market, and modest price softening or flattening in many submarkets, but still underpinned by strong long-term demand. Robson Ranch remains a desirable 55-plus community with mid-500s to low 600s median prices, dozens of active listings, and homes taking about 1.5 to 2 months to sell. Sellers need to lean into realistic pricing and strong presentation, while buyers finally have breathing room and some negotiation power. If you'd like a custom breakdown for your specific city in Denton County or a detailed pricing opinion for your home in Robson Ranch, we'd be happy to put that together for you. To sum it up, for buyers, why do we consider this the best market we've seen for Denton County buyers in years? Rising inventory, longer days on market, and slight price softening as positives for patient buyers. And if you've been waiting for the frenzy to cool off, this is your sign to take a fresh look. Summing up from the seller perspective, overpricing is the big no-no. You will only sit on the market longer as buyers have other alternatives. If you're curious how these countywide and Robson Ranch trends affect your specific situation, whether you're planning to buy your first North Texas home, move up, or downsize into a 55 plus community, reach out to me. We're happy to put together a custom plan that lines up with your timing, your budget, and your goals for 2026. This is Steve DePoe, Real Estate Advisor with the Rose Realty Team, your Denton County real estate resource. Watch for next week's real estate update for North Texas. Wait 2 seconds for my contact information.